Information can be found everywhere in our time. Ideas are exchanged at an incredible pace, and as such, innovation is happening very continuously. Hi everyone, and welcome to the 6th episode of Conversations with Steven. My name is Steven Izu. We are young people and we have a future. In the next 4 episodes of this podcast, this one inclusive, we are going to be talking about things related to our future. We are beginning a series called Science, Technology, and the Future. We are going to have the first session today, and the title for this session is Technology and Innovation. We'll be talking about technology, innovation, and the impact it has on young people, both now and in the future. Of course, technology and innovation has many sides to it, so I won't do the talking alone. I have 2 wonderful young people with me today. Not physically with me though. Yeah, ladies first. My first guest, her name is Tolulope Gbenro. Tolu is a female student of Covenant University, Ota, in Nigeria. Tolu is a special assistant to Mrs. Foluke Michaels on climate action. Tolu has been a member of Enactus, Covenant University, Ota, since 2017. Tolu is the head of planning and business ventures, Enactus Covenant University, Ota. Tolu is part of the strategy and research team at Youth Sustainable Development Network. And Tolu is the 2020/2021 Holt Prize Campus Director of Covenant University, Ota. Hi Tolu. Welcome to Conversations with Steven.
Thank you, Steven.
My second guest is also a student. His name is Tochukwu Chukwure Clinton. Tochukwu is a student at Federal University of Technology, Owerri. Tochukwu has been a member of Enactus at Federal University of Technology, Owerri, in Nigeria, since 2017. Tochukwu is the current chair of the Robotics and Automation Society at FUTO, that's Federal University of Technology, Owerri. Tochukwu is the vice president and student coordinator of the Microbe Student Network. Tochukwu was a scholarship outreach initiative ambassador of IEEE Computer Society at FUTO. And the last but not the least, Tochukwu is the 2020/2021 Holt Prize Campus Director at Federal University of Technology, Owerri. Hi Tochukwu. Wow. Welcome to Conversations with Steven.
Yeah, thank you so much, Steven. It's a privilege to be here.
Tochukwu, my first question today is for you. Do you think the current educational system of the world will be entirely changed or partly changed due to the current impact of technology on it? Like, considering the impact of technology on the systems of the world, do you think the current educational system of the world will be entirely changed and revamped, or maybe just a part of it is going to be changed?
Yes. It's going to be changed. Now, if we just look at the issue of this COVID-19 pandemic, and we have seen how the world has been globally affected. Now we are now living in the times of new normal, the new normal, yeah. So technology will, and it's going to change the system of education globally.
So you believe that within no time the whole educational system of the world is going to be entirely changed?
Yes, surely. Now you are even seeing a normal thing where students can now graduate virtually. Students now have virtual meetings and so on. So it's now being shown to us that we don't even have to meet. Educational system has changed, learning process has changed. Students can easily get resources online without even meeting, without even doing things together. So technology has really changed the system of education, yes, globally.
Okay. Tolu, let me bring in at this point. What can you say about the impact of educational technology on education and learning? Tolu.
Well, first, technology refers to the application of scientific procedures or processes to solve practical problems. And like Tochukwu earlier said, the educational system has changed and everything basically has changed, but the educational system keeps changing. We have systems where people can take self-paced thoughts. Before, learning online was vague. It was like something that wasn't real, like you could be scammed and all that. But now people are encouraged to learn online. People are encouraged to build themselves, to learn not just things related to their field of studies, but to learn digital skills because artificial intelligence, robots, they are taking over the workplace. And if you don't have a skill that is not easily replaced by AI or robotics, you would be very irrelevant in the industry a few years from now.
Wow. So, based on what you just said, you think that educational system of the world is going to be changed from time-based learning, like a time-based system, to a competency-based system?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Tochukwu Tochukwu and Tolu have just said a lot briefly, but a lot about how technology has changed the educational system of the world and how it is constantly changing, not that it has changed. So we are going to get to the second part of this episode, and this is where we are going to spend much time. Okay, perfect. Um, as I've just said, we just talked about the impact of technology on the educational system of the world. Tochko, I'm coming back to you. How does the impact of technology on education and learning affect innovation and the ideas of people, especially we young people? Like, in the past, maybe a young person just had to go to classes, and maybe if you had physical, if you had money and if you had physical lectures and seminars, then you can attend some seminars. But based on the changes of the educational system and the learning system in the world, how are the ideas of young people changing?
Yeah, it's changing in such a way that currently now anything can be gotten on the net. I can in 2 seconds get any information I want to get, and I can in a short period of time learn any course, learn any skill I want to learn. So the internet has made it possible for resources to be easily gotten, for um, people to acquire skills easily, like to say robotics, automation, and AI, and so on. So it has really changed the way, it has really innovated and impacted students such that we can now learn anything we want, we can acquire any skills we want at any point in time without even paying large sums of money to acquire physical learning and physical teaching from teachers. Yeah.
Yeah, so this in turn means that in the coming years, we are going to have a set of young people who are vastly intelligent and vastly enriched with a great source of knowledge.
Exactly.
Nice. Tolu, what is artificial intelligence? Can you explain? Because maybe let's say someone is listening and maybe this is the first time, like AI. What is artificial intelligence? Yeah.
Artificial intelligence basically deals with or involves the use of machines to get things done, programmed machines, different softwares. But there's also augmented intelligence, which involves the combination of machines and people working together to create a knowledge database for an enterprise. And artificial intelligence can be used to solve plenty problems. A number of people are very, 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 a number of people know about programming, and they say this stuff was programmed, IG, this, yes, different programming software. So basically, that's what AI is. AI is a software that an interactive software that is knowledge based. It receives data, it processes data, and uses the data to give feedback and to answer questions on relevant topic. It doesn't just say yes or no. It tells you why it is yes. It tells you why it is no. It tells you why it should be done in a certain way. It gives you different suggestions, just the way the human brain thinks, but a machine doing that.
How does that affect the life of young people? Like, how does that affect young people like me and you?
To an extent, or in a way, it affects us both positively and negatively, because everything that was created by humans, machines generally, were created to make life easier, faster, and better for young people. But these days it tends to make us lazy, and in the next few years most industries are going to be replaced by artificial intelligence. A number of delivery companies or delivery systems, or even payment systems or shopping systems, do not use humans to record their sale transaction. They make use of programmed machines that work on AI and other software or other interfaces to do those things. So what it just means is most people, when we wanted to enter school, most parents would tell you study law, study medicine, study petroleum engineering. But in a few years from now, parents are not going to encourage their children to study those kind of courses. Parents are going to encourage their children to act, to become more creative, to do things within the social and art sector, because those things are not easily replaced by machine. Normally, somebody will sit down and say, I'm trying to learn Excel, I'm trying to learn MATLAB to program, to analyze data and all those things. But these days, you just have a software. Even as CVs, most people don't sit down to write CVs. You have so many CV writing websites and apps. You just have to fill maybe a 20 or 30 minutes questionnaire, and everything is written for you. So it's going to affect a lot, because most young people would not have job opportunities, and that's why people need to build their digital skill. Because if you're it's not just about programming, but if you are knowledgeable in a certain area, when it comes to digital skills, you can edit photos, edit videos, you can make use of different softwares, basically softwares. It's going to go a long way, because when a company employs you, they're employing you to check and to manage the system, make sure the server doesn't crash, etc. Those are the kind of work you'll be doing, or work in the creative arts sector. Even if we have robots singing, many people are not really going to buy that idea, because we want to see humans. We are social beings, we want to interact with ourselves. So the whole educational system, the whole world is changing, and it's affected by AI, by machines, and it's going to affect a lot of things. So young people should innovate. Young people should be creative. It's not just to say you're studying law. It's not just to say you're studying engineering, but build a skill. If there was no work for you today, how would you make money? Bring entrepreneurship into it. How would you survive on your own? So I think that should be the major goal for now.
Hi, Tolu. Tolu, are you still there?
Yes, I am. I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, I was just lost because I was trying to keep up with some of the things you were saying. I'm a thinking person, so as we were talking, I was thinking, and then to the next moment, I was just lost. Yeah, yeah. So thank you so much, Tolu. Well, Tolu just said a lot. Like, she said so much, and the way she spoke, it was as if she read my script because I was just about to ask Tochukwu the next question. Because the next question I was about to ask Tochukwu is related to what Tolu is related to what is related to part of what is related to part of what Tolu said. So Tolu talked about how artificial intelligence affects young people and how it affects our future and how it's going to breed the increase in ideas and innovation all over the world. Tochukwu, I will just ask you the question: how does, considering what we've discussed so far, how does artificial, like, remember we talked about how technology and information has affected education and how the impact technology and information has had on education has affected in turn the life of young people. And also we talk about artificial intelligence and how it has affected young people. So for you, how does artificial intelligence affect, number one, innovation, and then the ideas of people, especially we young people?
Okay, so when you talk about innovation, it means you're trying to bring in new things, right?
Yes.
So that's what innovation means. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
So now, Tolu has really said a lot about artificial intelligence and how it even tends to affect the lives of youths positively. So artificial intelligence is or has changed the way we do things now. Like most companies now use robots to make sales and do a lot of things. Companies now use automated systems to run most of the company processes and production processes. So on youths, it's really important we have digital skills. It's really important people possess the skills of digital marketing, skills in Python, and so on. So artificial intelligence has changed the way we do things. When I talk about innovation, and I'm talking about the way of doing things in a new way, or the way of innovating something, the way of bringing something, changing the whole idea or changing the scope of how a particular thing is done. So artificial intelligence has really redefined the whole process from manufacturing processes to production processes and so on. So it has really changed the way the world sees things. It has really changed the world. Yes, artificial intelligence has really changed.
How does that affect young people like me and you, like a young person sitting down somewhere? Let me just be frank for a second or two. Growing up, most young people didn't really think about a lot of things. Like, young people just maybe thought about the course they studied in college, and maybe once in a while if they were departmental president and all of that. So based on what you just said, how do you think there's going to be any change or changes in the life of young people?
No, yes, it's going to change us in two ways. It can change us positively. It can change us negatively. Tolu was saying something about it's going to get to a time students, youths will start being lazy. Now, virtually, artificial intelligence can do virtually everything. I want to write a CV. I just use the software, input some certain details, and then my CV is formed. Or I want to produce something, and then with few lines of code or with few processes, I get the work done. So students or youths will tend to being lazy because it's going to be easier. I want to do something and then I don't even have to study so much. The programs are there, the softwares are there. It's just for me to input certain things and then I get the job done. On the positive aspect, we are going to be equipped with skills. We can have job opportunities. We can thrive more in the digital economy. So artificial intelligence has two aspects. It's going to affect you positively and it's going to affect them negatively.
So, what can a young person like me and you do in view of these effects on people, like their positive and negative effects? So, what can I do, or what can somebody listening to this podcast who maybe just sitting down thinking about what to eat, like what can they do with their life based on this?
You have to start learning skills. You have to equip yourself with skills to thrive in the new world. You cannot just sit down there and then you are still relying on old technology or old softwares to do things. You have to adapt to trending innovation and trending things.
How can someone adapt? Like maybe is there any skill you should be learn, or maybe we should learn programming, should learn Python or something like that?
There are many skills you can learn. You can learn skills in cloud computing. You can learn skills in Python. You can learn skills. You can equip yourself with knowledgeable skills in Internet of Things, IoT, and so on. So there are platforms where we can learn this thing easily. You can see that the world is changing. So all these things can be accessed easily. I can go on EDX, I can go on Coursera, I can go on several Udemy, Udacity, and so on, and get these courses and equip myself to thrive in the new economy. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have anything to say about this?
Yes, so basically, I would list about 10 skills I think young people should equip themselves with.
Okay.
Machine learning, mobile development, SEO and SME marketing, data visualization, data engineering, UI and UX design, cybersecurity, cloud computing, blockchain, and IoT. And some of the sites where we can learn most of these skills include Coursera, EDX, Khan Academy, Udemy, iTunes, U free courses, MIT OpenCourseWare, Stanford Online, Code Academy, NPTEL, and so on and so forth. And we should also learn to build ourselves. Don't just say, I'm going to be a medical doctor and so on and so forth. You would have to write reports. You would have to log patients' information on a database. So you should basic Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, those things we didn't take so important in secondary school and at the beginning of college, they actually matter now. And basic calculation skills. You don't have to be a physics student or a mathematician or a scientist to learn how to do basic addition, subtraction on different softwares, especially Excel, because you would have to do most of these things on even more complex softwares. But if you have an idea of how it works on basic softwares, it will be easier for you. And generally, I want to talk about mindset. We should not just say is for the developed country, is for America, is for Europe. Things are coming to Africa too. I remember some years back, my brother said he didn't want to go to university. He just wanted to stay at home and take online classes and school online and graduate. And my mom was really worried. She kept saying, no, you cannot do that. Even if it's possible, they'll scam you, this one, that one. What will she tell neighbors when they ask why her son is at home every day? Well, now we've been at home for months and people have learned, people have graduated, people have gotten certifications, people are learning, people are still building themselves. The world has not stopped because of COVID. So we should have this positive mindset of change. Don't wait for innovation to come and hit you badly. I was watching a series and they had to complete a season of the series before a particular time and it was taking long. But because of COVID, they could not gather in public places to shoot most of the scenes. So for the last two episodes, what they did, the scenes that required them meeting in public places, probably churches, police station, eateries, cafes, they made animations for those scenes. The animations were not of the best of qualities. But when I saw it, I was so happy that I was screaming. Why? Because they innovated. They thought outside the box. Imagine they kept saying, we'll wait for COVID, wait for COVID, wait for COVID. They probably wouldn't have been done with that project by now. So we should be open to try new things. Don't just say it's for the white people, black people technology. No, it doesn't work that way. Thank you.
Wow. That's so wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Tolu, based on what you just said now, you have said a lot. Based on what you just said, how do you see the world in 5 years from now, 5 to 10 years from now? Can you create a picture of the world 5 years from now?
5 to 10 years from now, I think people are going to be more data conscious. Yes, we are selling with bitcoins, but we would soon start selling with data. It's a matter of who do you know, what do you know about the person. Those things are going to be sold. People's blackmails, etc., etc. As a result of innovation and AI, IoT, software, everything advancing, it's going to get to that point. And it's a circle. We're going to get back to where we were before, back to the former way of sending paper mails, doing things manually, because technology sort of invades our privacy and doesn't leave that space for us. And more
Why
people
do you
don't
think?
really care about what they put on social media. Okay,
No,
ask your question, Steven.
finish what you're saying.
Okay. And other
Yeah.
people don't really care about what they put on social media because they think it's just for fun. A number of people will say Facebook is the app where most people in the village that are just learning to use technology start from in Nigeria. It's a mentality, it's a mindset, it's a stereotype. Twitter is the app where you go to use your voice to rant, say rubbish, to say positive things to make impact. LinkedIn is the place you go to when you want to get job. Instagram is the place you post your pictures when you want to be seen. So every software or every software basically youths have given or have stereotyped everything to a certain level. But it's going to get to a point that the information you feel is useless on Facebook, the ranting and banting and arguments you have on Twitter would become important and will worth money and value to people because people want to invade your personal space. People want to know what you are doing when other people are not there. And it's going to lead to a lot of changes that is going to make us go back to the former circle of wanting to do things with ourselves and later on back to the circle of let's use machines again. But this time, let's use machines in a way that it does not invade our privacy. Thank you.
So you answered the question that I wanted to ask. But so you feel that we are going to go back to what we are to and where we are coming from.
Yes, is a normal life cycle, but I think when we go back to where we are coming from, a number of things are going to be different. That's why we talk about innovation. We are not going to do things exactly the way that we are done in the past. We may go back to sending mails, yes, handwritten letters, yes, but probably faster, effective and efficient because we have learned from our mistakes. It's not
Mm.
just going to be wait for postman and all those things. There will still be an atom of science, technology, and different forms of innovation in everything we want to do in the traditional setting. It's like fashion. Today we are wearing baggy jeans. Tomorrow we are wearing ripped jeans. Tomorrow it's like jeans are not really so important. Wear palazzo and different kind of things. But when you check, you realize that archaeological events show that these things have been done before. And when you say, okay, it has been done before, let's not do it. You want to try something. After a while, those old traditions, those old fashion, they come up again. So it's still the same thing for science and technology. Yes, innovation. But the thing is to innovate at the right time. Innovate when it's early. When we were at home, or we've been at home for a while because
Yeah.
some people have stayed working as a result of COVID. A number of people, companies decided not to work. A number of people's companies have closed down and closed down forever because they refused to innovate. A number of people decided to move online, and there have been so many video conferencing apps that were not used. But now many people are thinking in that direction. So it's not just to follow the trend. Yes, everybody is using Zoom. So you want to sit down and program an app that is like Zoom or better than Zoom. Think about the future. What is going to be the next new normal after COVID? Think ahead and work ahead, plan ahead.
Wow. That was so enriching. Like it was so enriching. I'm honestly grateful to be able to have the privilege to host you and Tochukwu here. Thank you so much, Tolu.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Tolu Your dog is making noise. Tochukwu, I have the question for you next. Like the next question is for you. Tolu said so much about. Did you hear part of what Tolu said?
Yes, I did.
Mm. Yeah. So for you, how do you see the world 5, 10 years from now?
Okay. I see a world where artificial intelligence automation will now be the new normal. I see a world where there will be breach in privacy. Understand now? Anybody can get the data of anyone at any point in time. I see a world where quantum computing will at a point come into play. Okay, I see a world where innovation and technology will be like the new normal. Everything can be done at any time, at any place, and so on. So, in 5 to 10 years from now, technology will really affect us in almost every facet of our lives, in almost every facet of the industry. Okay, so that's how I see the world 10 years, 5 years from now.
And ho- so you feel okay. Let me put the question this way: based on what you just said, how far do you think it's going to take the current world to get to that point? Is it going to take maybe 20 years or 10 years, or maybe just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years?
No, you know, technology is really running at a very fast pace, like very, very fast pace. Now we have hyperloop technology developing. We have some other, we have quantum computing developing, and so many other mad technologies, so many other trending technologies. So with the pace at which it's going now, the 5G coming into play, with the pace at which the world is going into now, I see the world being developed in a vast way in the next 10 years.
You just said so much about technology, innovation, and Tolu said a lot, so much, like really a lot about how the world is going to change and how we young people should align ourselves in these changes so that we will not be lost in the crowd. So, based on all of this, do you have any concluding words to say to young people or about the topic in general?
Okay.
Yeah,
So, as
like a summary
concluding words,
of everything.
it's yeah. So, as let me start by saying that artificial intelligence will really bring a very important change or a fundamental change to society. So, it's going to affect everything from business to government to finance to education. It's going to affect every facet of the industry. You understand? So, as the systems are constantly developing and being deployed, we see that the effects on the society it's somehow unclear because we are not going to know, okay, in 10 years from now what is actually going to be, what is going to happen to the data of everybody. Now we can see that data can be easily gotten at any point in time. As technology is expanding, information will continue being gotten from people. Companies can easily get access to information. Like if you ask Google anything about you now, Google virtually knows everything about you. Microsoft virtually knows everything about you. So that's the technology. That's how the world is going into now. That's where the world is going to now. So as young people, as developing people, we need to upskill ourselves. Now, there are many platforms where we can upskill, like I've mentioned earlier, Coursera, EDX, Udacity, Udemy, and so on. So there's this need, there's this importance for us to develop ourselves. It's really important. Get yourself get yourself with a bag of skills, like know these skills from Excel, from to Python to IoT to blockchain as much as possible. Now the world is fast changing. We can easily get this information at just the snap of our fingers. So it's really important as young people that we should try as much as possible to develop ourselves. It's very, very important.
Wow, thank you so much, Tochukwu. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome,
Uh,
Stephen. You're welcome, Stephen.
Tolu, do you have any concluding words? Because this is just the end of the episode. So we've learned a lot today, and me personally, I've learned so much, and I'm going to definitely work on this. I have been working on this actually, but I'm going to do more, and I'm going to see how I can align myself. So you've said a lot, so you've said so much. So any concluding words in summary about technology innovation, and how we young people can fit into the way the world is moving now?
Thank you so much, Stephen, for this opportunity, and thank you so much, Tochukwu, for joining us. Generally, I just want to say that the number of things we do not take as important in the long run appear to be more important than we think. So we should be very open-minded to change, because change is constant. Things are going to keep changing. Things are going to keep happening. While we are saying the whole world will do this, the entire circle may go this way or that way, new things may happen and interrupt the circle or disrupt the circle rather. So we should be open-minded and we should build ourselves. Don't just say digital skills. Yes, digital skills are important. Soft skills are also important. Build yourself all around. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tochukwu Tolu, for that wonderful summary. Thank you so much. Well, we've come to the end of this episode, and we didn't spend up to an hour, but what we learned is what some people learn in 3 months. So you should work on what you've heard, and I'm sure that you are going to work on what you've heard, because I'm sure you learned a lot. So we've learned a lot. We started by looking at how information has impacted the educational system of the world, and how it has in turn impacted the ideas and the ideas of young people and innovations across the systems of the world. And we talked about artificial intelligence and how it affects the future, the nearest future and the future in 10, 15, 20 years from now. And of course, our guests told us about how we should align ourselves, what we should do as young people, because this is a podcast for young people, what we should do in view of these changes so that our future and the future of our children are going to be secured. So thank you so much again, Tochukwu and Tolu, for coming to Conversations with Stephen. I'm so grateful.
You're welcome, Stephen.
Yeah. Well, if you have listened to this point, I'm so grateful. You are the people that keep me motivated, and I thank God for the opportunity, because honestly, it is a privilege and an opportunity from God, and I honestly appreciate God for the opportunity to be here today. So, if you have a question, if you have a suggestion, or you have a topic you feel we should discuss here, send me an email. Send an email to cwsteven20@gmail.com. cwstephen20@gmail.com. Your email is going to be responded to, and maybe, just maybe, you are going to be featured on Conversations with Stephen. Thank you so much. Bye and see you next time.